So to kick us off, just wanted to give you a bit of an insight into enterprise, into where the business is at the moment. So as you can see, for FY23, our last financial year, we had a fantastic year. We turned over $35 billion, and that put us in the top 10 of privately owned companies in the United States. So ninth largest privately owned company in the States. And that's fantastic because it means that all of our profits, all that revenue is staying within the company. There's no shareholders with Enterprise Mobility. It's still family owned. And that means that it gives a huge amount of stability to our employees and huge amount of opportunity to our employees too. As you can see, our team has grown to 90,000 people in the last 65 years. So it's fantastic to be part of such a large organization where people have come through a very similar pathway as yourself. So it means that there's a huge amount of mentoring within the company and a huge amount of support as well in regards to your progression. We've also grown into being in over 90 countries and territories worldwide. So who knows where your career with enterprise can take you in the future. And in regards to who we are, we have a number of different brands under Enterprise Mobility. So when you apply to join the company, you're applying to be involved in all these different parts of the business. And various different brands will be operated at the same location, or we have specific teams that are involved in Integral, for example, which is more of our technology side of the business. But Ruth, from your experience working at Glasgow city centre, what does that look like on a day-to-day basis, and how do you manage those different brands?
So it looks like a busy time all the time, but it's good and keeps the day a bit more exciting. So we do use Alamo, National, and Enterprise on the one place, which is really handy for everyone because three really big brands everyone knows. We also use we're trying to drive a bit more, which is basically just because you can't rent a car until you're 25, just means that customers can go and pick up a car round about the city, and drive it for a couple of hours and then just pop it back. So it's really good to be able to reach like a bigger customer base than just working in like just enterprise daily rental.
Perfect. And yeah, I think that's why we've got all of these different brands so that we're able to offer different choices and options to our customers, to businesses. And Ruth there mentioned National and Alamo. When I worked at Glasgow Airport, we were operating those three brands, Enterprise, National and Alamo. And that was great because you were able to identify your customers' needs due to which stream they came through. So national customers generally were happy to pay a premium for a low touch quick service, and Alamo customers, they were very much price conscious, maybe renting once or twice a year for a holiday, and therefore you knew that you need to spend a little bit more time with these customers in order to make sure that they were completely aware of what the rental process looked like. So it allowed us to provide better customer service ultimately. And that's what it's all about. It's about being part of a growing business. And what I really like is that your career can dip into different parts of enterprise mobility, and you never know where it's going to take you. But ultimately, everything that we do is very much guided by our values. And I mentioned earlier that the business is over 65 years old, and our values have been with us and guiding us for that time. So it's really, really important that when you're choosing your future employer, that the values of the company align with your values too. And Ruth, from the founding values, are there any that really stick out to you and that you can really relate to from working with enterprise?
Yeah, I would definitely say like personal honesty and integrity. I think it's so important to make sure that the customers know that like we do care about them, we're doing everything we can to help them. And I think that's like a really big thing in the branch is that everyone like is very honest and has integrity basically. So yeah.
Absolutely. And you mentioned customers there. Customer service is definitely a way of life. It is, the foundation for everything that we do. And I always really appreciated how highly valued that was. And ultimately you aren't able to progress within your career unless, you are delivering excellent customer service, and that's reflected in your customer service scores. I think from joining too, I was very much looking for somewhere that I was able to get my head down. I was able to work hard, and I get rewarded for it. And I've definitely been able to see that working at Enterprise in regards to the responsibilities that I had, after 1 year being an assistant manager of a business turning over about £2 million a year. So that was really challenging, but really rewarding ultimately. And also the fact that when you become an assistant manager, you start to earn a percentage of the profits as well. So financially, you're rewarded for the work that you're putting in, and ultimately for growing that business. There's that mutual benefit that you're seeing within your lifestyle. And Abby, what about yourself? From your various different roles with Enterprise, are there any values that really stand out to you?
Yeah, definitely. So, the we strengthen our communities one neighbourhood at a time. I think is my favourite value with Enterprise, and I think there's a lot of companies out there that have these values and don't actually embed them into what they do at work. But I think Enterprise definitely do that, and obviously this can be shown through this value and Enterprise. So I personally wanted to help like the community around me as well. So I set up like a dress up day for Pudsey and children in need when I was at Enterprise. So I just took the idea to my manager, and then we just set it out as something to do across like the area. And then I also collected money for a food bank and donations for a food bank in our community as well. So these are just ideas that I had that I wanted to implement to help, and like Enterprise like supported me the whole way through it. And yeah, any ideas that you have or want to get involved with, they'll definitely push you to do that. You also get 1 day volunteering at Enterprise. So if there's a charity that you're really passionate about, you can go and volunteer for the day paid. And Enterprise will support you, giving you that day off work to go and like volunteer there. And you do also, if there's a charity that you're really passionate about, you can put an application to Enterprise, and they'll give the charity of your choice a donation. I can't remember what the minimum amount is. Is it £1,000, Fraser?
Yeah, from the
Um,
foundation.
yeah, from the foundation. So yeah, just that just shows that they actually do implement ways to live by their values. It's not just a their value. They do actually stand by it and put things in place to show that that is how we live our life pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's happening at every level, whether it be global initiatives like to fill your tank, whether it's more local initiatives, like you've talked about there, where actually an employee is coming forward with a proposal and the business is supporting it. And you've got the My Purpose, My Time Day, as you say. So you've got a charity day where you're able to support your local community every single year. And it's really, really important that people take that, and ultimately it's yeah, it's really, really encouraged. And much like customer service, whenever you're in an interview to get promoted, you're going to be asked about, how have you supported DE&I, how have you supported local communities? And for me, that's something that I've always really, really enjoyed doing. I also had the chance to volunteer at a food bank through the Fill Your Tank initiative, and that was fantastic. Not only to give back to the local community, but also to meet different people in the company, to build those relationships, but also to take on a bit more responsibility too, and then take on organising other people to go in and volunteer as well. So yeah, lots and lots of opportunities to get involved in that. We've also got our 50 million tree pledge that we started back in 2007, and we're on track to plant those 50 million trees before 2057. But also we're looking ahead to how can we support local communities, local businesses in regards to their mobility needs. So obviously lots and lots of businesses are pledging to reduce their emissions, but it can be quite challenging to do so if you own your own fleet. It doesn't provide you with a lot of flexibility. So we are able to work with local authorities, government, businesses on helping with their mobility solutions. And advising on what vehicles can potentially be full EVs, hybrids, or some do need to be internal combustion engines. And I think a good example of this is the work that we've been doing with the Highland Council, which has been going on since 2019. And in the first year of using our vehicles versus grey fleet, it reduced their emissions by 19%, which was 377 tonnes of CO2. So it shows the impact that we're able to make as a business and as we grow as a business. And also that saved that local authority £400,000 that can be reinvested into other projects in the community. So I'm really passionate about working somewhere that as you grow, you also benefit others and you give back to the community too. And it's really important that we're an inclusive employer, that we're ensuring that we are reducing any barriers that there are. So, it's fantastic that we've been recognised as a disability confident employer. Also, due to our internal promotions, we're in the top 75 employers for social mobility. I think that also comes down to the fact that for a graduate career, you don't need to relocate to London, to Manchester, to Edinburgh. We've got opportunities in Cornwall, we've got opportunities in Elgin, we've got opportunities in Dumfries. So I think it's something like 94% of the UK population are within 10 miles of one of our businesses, and therefore they're within 10 miles of one of our graduate opportunities. So again, it's fantastic to be able to offer that on a local basis, even though we're a global business with global opportunities. And it's really important that we're able to bring as many people from as many different backgrounds into our business as possible, because that's the only way that we're going to have excellent leaders in the future. That's the only way that we're going to have excellent leaders within our business. And when you come in, you're going to be working through your training folder, and you're going to be working towards your MQI, as Ruth was mentioning, which stands for your Management Qualification Interview. So once you've completed your training folder, you then sit down with the different heads of departments and you talk through their part of the business and to show that you have the skill set, you've got the knowledge in order to be a manager in the future. Ruth, from your experience going through that process, how did you find working through the training folder, and what did that look like in regards to the various different projects?
I'm so sorry, it got a bit loud in here. Could you just say that again? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So just in regards to the training folder, when you were going through that, what did that look like in regards to your different projects and the support that you got from people in the branch completing that?
Yeah, of course, sorry. Yeah, no, it was really, really helpful. It was almost like tutorial work in uni. So you would just sort of go over things like vehicle repair and different leadership things, and it just really gives you an a well-rounded idea of how a business is run, and it really helps you with learning stuff, because you're not just doing it, you're going home, or not going home, later on in the day you're sitting in the branch and you're able to put it all into words and fully ask questions and get a really good understanding of how the company's run, and everyone's so understanding and helpful. And whenever you have any questions, anyone in the branch is always willing to help. And that's, I think, been true across all the branches that I've been in.
Perfect. And yeah, it's really giving you that foundation of knowledge across the whole business, because as we mentioned earlier, who knows where your career can take you. I always expected to work in operations and to progress through to being assistant manager, branch manager, area manager. But yeah, things came up, and ultimately opportunities came up that I hadn't considered before, and ended up going for them. But what I really like is that I'm working in HR and talent acquisition currently. I'm able to progress my career in that direction. I'm able to go back to operations. I can go into a different role in the company. There's always that support to pivot, and you've always got that foundation of knowledge from being a management trainee, from going through your training folder, that really sets you up for success in the future. And just to point out, our current CEO, Chrissy, she actually started as a placement student, so very similar to the management trainee. And obviously she's now heading up our company that turned over $35 billion last year. So who knows where you could end up. And yeah, really, really proud that last year, 20,000 people within the company were promoted or took on new roles. So it shows how dynamic it is. It shows how quickly you're able to progress. And I think that has been a huge part in regards to the awards that we've won in the last couple of months, actually, in regards to being Target Jobs, #1 graduate employer. Also winning Rate My Placement, #1 student employer. And the great thing about that is that was actually voted for by our employees who have done summer internships, have done placements, are going back. So again, it's coming straight from our employees. And we've also climbed the Times Top 100 graduate employers up to 59th now as well. So really excited for what we're able to do over the next year to be able to climb even higher next year. So next section, now that you've got a bit of an understanding about the company and what you'd be applying for, we just want to give you a greater insight into what life is like as a management trainee and what you can expect to gain from it, and the skills that you'll be developing on a daily basis will be too. So first of all, Ruth, you touched on increasing your business understanding in your last answer, but can you just talk through a little bit more detail, maybe about what you're working on currently, and just to get an understanding of what that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now I'm doing my management assistant project, which for me is like fleet health. So just making sure that all the cars get their MOTs on time, and that if there's any repairs that need done, they're getting done as soon as we can. And so it's just really good with helpful with loads of different things, even just like time management. Talking on the phone to people sometimes can be quite daunting, and you just it just helps you with that. And sorry. So I mean, yeah, I guess it's just really helpful to learn about how, because it's in the branch I'm in just now, we have a fleet of just over 200 cars, I believe. So it's kind of my job to make sure that everyone's making sure that all the cars are rentable and we're not sending out anything that's unsafe or anything like that.
Perfect. And I think from my experience too, I really enjoyed getting that insight into the financial statement. And as you say, operating a fleet of 200 vehicles, 200 assets, it's really important to understand, the break even, and understand what you need to do as an employee in order to impact that, and how your actions impact the business, impact the customer, impact the employees too. And Abby, from your experience doing the placement, what professional skills would you say that you developed, and I suppose how did you use them this year in your final year of university?
Yeah, so I honestly gained so many skills. It was kind of my first time actually being in a kind of corporate and professional environment. I grew up with small part-time jobs growing up, but this is my first time actually being in a professional environment, as I mentioned. So obviously problem solving skills, sales skills, which is really good. I'd never done sales before, so that was really good. Sales, marketing, obviously customer service. Customer service is such a big thing in enterprise. And obviously just being able to work in a team together, communication skills and interpersonal skills. And I guess as well being able to adapt to different environments, because obviously the people that you speak to throughout the day is all completely different. So speaking to your customers, you'll speak to them in a different way than when you speak to your employees and colleagues and stuff like that. So yeah, loads of skills. And yeah, it really helped me for going back to university with time management, especially going into my fourth year. Fourth year is intense. But yeah, being able to obviously just take those skills, go back to uni for even just teamwork and stuff at uni really definitely helped me preparing for the severity of fourth year.
Perfect. Yeah, you'll be looking forward to a rest, coming back and working full time after
Yeah.
university is done. And yeah, something that really stands out for me for my experience at Enterprise has been my ability to grow relationships. That's something that I've really enjoyed, whether it be for a one-to-one with a customer, or actually managing a corporate account as a management trainee. I've always really enjoyed that fact find, I suppose, getting to know the individual, the company, what their needs are, and ultimately how we can best meet and exceed those needs. And what I do now in talent acquisition is so much about growing relationships, not just with potential candidates or people in the recruitment process, but also with universities, with societies, with other employers too, understanding the market a little bit better. So I think that if you're someone who enjoys that interaction, enjoys building connections with people, growing relationships, then it's something that you're going to really, really enjoy working with ourselves. And Ruth, in regards to working in the branches, what kind of support system have you been able to have around you?
So it's a really, really good support system that I've experienced in the branches. Every month we have what's called a PDM and an EDM. So you have a little meeting with your direct manager at the beginning of every month and at the end of every month. And it's just to set like personal goals, just check in, make sure that you're, happy in work and that everything's going okay. And yeah, I just find that really beneficial. Just because it gives you that little bit of time away just to discuss everything, and if you're having trouble with anything, that's the time to bring it up, and everyone's so helpful. And yeah, the managers that I've came across in enterprise have all been so supportive of everything. It's been really good. I had some issues with my health and they couldn't have been more helpful to me. So it's just a really good and really supportive company, and they do really genuinely care about their employees.
Fantastic to hear it. And yeah, I think it's so important that you've got those scheduled catch-ups, those scheduled personal development meetings, because having them once a month, months come around fast, and I think that it really sort of keeps you on track with your development, and ultimately ensures that there's that structure of support, because it can often be a way where people can have the best of intentions, but unless it's scheduled, unless it's in the diary, it's difficult to follow through. So I'm delighted to hear that that's been the case. And yes, our final reason of the 5, Abby, from your experience, what kind of rewards have you experienced whilst working at Enterprise?
So a lot, which is good. Obviously I came in as a placement, so I was actually surprised at how many rewards that I could get as a industrial placement. I'd heard about rewards that full-time employees could get, but I was actually able to get all the same accessibility to all the rewards as they did, which I thought was really amazing, and I didn't hear of any other industrial placement program, which was really good. Obviously you get both monetary and non-monetary rewards, so you get recognition stuff through your PDMs, and just day to day, if management come in and they do something well, they're always well done. But you do get monetary rewards. We have Friday competitions and stuff like that, so every Friday there's sales competitions between the branches, and if you have the best sales, you'll win maybe £100 or something that week. So if you win that, say for 4 weeks, you £400 at the end of the month, that's unreal. And then you've also got stuff to work towards in the branch, so be the best. So for that, I can't remember how much it is you get for that. I think it's changed recently. I think it's all gone up, but yeah, so that can be another couple £100 on to your pay at the end of the month, which is really, really good. And yeah, it does really make a difference. And I liked how the effort that you put in, you can get rewarded for that. So however hard you work, if you work really hard, then you're going to get rewarded for that, both monetary and through recognition. So you do also get branch nights out. So if you be the best as a branch, you'll get money, and all the branch can go out and celebrate, whether that be for dinner or go bowling or something like that. It's up to you, is what you want to do. But yeah, you definitely do get rewarded well for what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, it's about getting that recognition as well, being seen, and being able to grow your personal brand. But yeah, I've always really, really enjoyed the fact that you kind of feel in control of your career, of your pay to some respects as well. If you look at it and you think, right, okay, I want to earn X amount of bonus this month, then you can even speak to your branch manager, area manager about, I want to achieve this. How can I go about doing it? And then you've kind of got that support in order to get the rewards that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And obviously, we've got to build the skills in order for you to get those rewards, in order for you to be able to progress within your career. So we've discussed a lot of these so far, but I just wanted to put them all together in a collective, just to summarize before we move on to the application process, because funnily enough, the skills that you're going to be gaining are also the skills that we want to identify in the application process. So you can almost look at this as a little cheat sheet almost in regards to what we're going to be assessing you on. And Abby, yeah, in regards to your experience, are there any in there that really stand out to you in regards to what you're feeling more confident about now versus when you started?
So definitely adaptability. I think that at Enterprise you're constantly going into different branches to collect cars in your area, or you'll be going into garages like National Tires, also going into like Porsche and Audi. So you're, as I mentioned earlier, whoever you're speaking to is really gonna, the way you speak is going to change depending on who's in front of you. So just being adaptable to obviously your environment and the person that's in front of you. Also, obviously, always like being respectful, but the way that I speak to my colleagues is going to be a bit more relaxed than a customer or somebody that's at Porsche. As well, marketing and sales, I definitely improved that. As I mentioned before, I didn't really have much experience in sales at all. But obviously from support, with speaking with your colleagues, they give you tips on best ways to sell, or ways that they've been having, like, I guess, like approaches that they've taken that have really been good for them. So yeah, I think definitely marketing and sales has definitely improved for me, and just confidence doing that as well.
Amazing, amazing. And Ruth, what about yourself? Any that really stand out to you in regards to the skills you've developed?
Yeah, so I would say that like communication and customer service are like the two main ones that I feel like I've developed and I've improved upon since I started here. It's just like they're both just so important. Basically, without the customers, we wouldn't have a business. So providing like outstanding customer service is just like the most important thing. So I guess that looks like tailoring your approach to every individual customer, because some people people have different personalities, so it's just making sure that you're able to give that person the best experience within Enterprise. And then communication, I guess, is just making sure that whether that's in person, on the phone, through email, that you're very clear and concise with what you're saying, making sure that everyone has complete clarity. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. And yeah, I'd say as well, I spoke earlier about enjoying growing those relationships. Emotional intelligence is really, really important, being able to read people and being able to understand, how to help them. And I think that's something that I've definitely developed and something that I use a lot in my day-to-day now. Okay. So we mentioned the application process. So we've streamlined this as much as possible. And in the last couple of years, we've actually taken out some stages you'll be glad to know. Also, you'll hopefully be glad to know that we don't use any psychometric testing. We don't really use any AI as well. It's very much person-led, and I think that reflects the fact that we're a very person-focused business. So first of all, you complete an online application. No need to format your CV, no need to write a cover letter. We want to make it as simple as possible for you by telling you what information we require. And it's just down to you to go in and to fill those different fields in the application form. That's then screened by a person, and you'll be invited to a virtual interview, so a two-way interview, normally over Microsoft Teams, where you're able to learn a little bit more about the business. Abby, from your experience, what was your virtual interview like with Enterprise when you first applied?
So I was unbelievably nervous for mine, as you can imagine, just like before interviews, the fear, just so nervous. But yeah, when obviously I did it, it was actually really relaxed. It was competency-based questions just on like my experience, kind of work that I'd done before, and it was really just a kind of chat to get to know me, and all the experience that I've had before, which I mean, I was still in university, so it's not like I've got a massive abundance of like prior experience in work or anything like that. But yeah, so just kind of get to know me, relaxed chat, just as I said, to get to know me and my skills and what I could bring to Enterprise, really.
Perfect. Absolutely. It should be conversational. We want to learn more about you, and it's a chance for you to learn more about the business and hopefully set you up for the next stage, which is the branch visit. So Ruth, from your experience working in the branch and seeing, people coming in for the branch visit, is there anything that really stands out to you and is a good indicator for a top performer?
Yeah, I think just someone that comes in and gets stuck in and like comes in, chats to everyone, is just like has questions and is interested in how like why we're doing the things we're doing and all that stuff. As well as like, making sure they are comfortable talking to the customers, even if that's just like a hi, I'm just here for the day, but my name's such and such, it's nice to meet you. So I guess just someone that's enthusiastic is the main thing that really speaks to everyone.
Yes, I totally agree. I think, those interactions with the team, with customers are so, so important. And, we're not expecting you to handle a transaction or anything, but if you are able to go up and start a conversation, or if someone's waiting, just introduce yourself, explain that you're there on a job interview, and ask them, how their day is, then that's going to reflect really, really well. And I think that if you're able to approach it, with the mindset of, it's your first day in the role, then you're going to set yourself up for success and think about, what do I want to gain from this experience that's going to help me in my first day? What's going to set me up for success in my career ahead? Because at the branch visit, you spend the first 2 hours or so shadowing the team, and then you'll have an interview with the area manager who makes the hiring decision. So that is the full length of the process. And then at that point, we're able to send over offer letters and start your onboarding process. So that's everything that we wanted to cover today. Abby, Ruth, thank you so much for your input. I can see that there has been lots of activity in the chat, and I understand that Samantha, my colleague, has been answering some of the questions as we've gone along, which is great. So I'm just going to scroll through now and see if there are any questions that we can answer on the call. So I know that there's been a number of questions in regards to driving license. So for the management trainee role, you are required to have a UK or EU driving license due to the nature of the position and the fact that you'll be spending some of your time in the branch and then some of your time actually out in the marketplace, meeting with businesses, delivering vehicles, picking up customers. However, as we were saying earlier, enterprise mobility is more than just one brand. It's more than just the enterprise brand. So there are other opportunities where you don't require a driving license. Some of these are in our FlexiRent division. Also, we've got some customer service representative roles in enterprise that do not require a driving license to apply for. So my best recommendation is to go onto the website and just read through the job descriptions and disqualify yourself that way with regards to the driving license. And yeah, I think Sam also spoke about the fact that we are hiring all year round, which makes us quite unique in regards to large graduate employers. So if you're looking to start in the new year or in the spring, we're able to offer that to you, which is great. I actually did something like that. I applied in February and then started with the business in April, which is quite unusual, and it just shows how quickly you can have that turnaround as well. And yeah, so someone's just asking about the industrial placement, Abby. So yeah, how did you go about applying for the placement? Was that did you go straight to our careers website, or did you go through the university?
Yeah, so I actually have a family member that works in FlexiRent, and they recommended because I was looking for my third year for a placement role, and he really likes working for enterprise, loves it. So I thought it would be a really good opportunity to get some like business experience and stuff like that, because that's what I'm studying. I'm studying business with HR. So I thought it'd be really good to get some experience, and at enterprise as well, you learn how to pretty much run a business. So I thought it would be really good to get exposure to that. So yeah, I heard it through a family member and then just went on and applied through the careers page for the placement.
Perfect. Yeah, and it's the same application form as the management trainee role too. So it is really important just to visit our website, and all of our roles for all the different brands are are there. Had a question here about part-time opportunities. Unfortunately, we don't have many part-time opportunities. However, if you have done a summer internship with ourselves or a placement with ourselves, there is a possibility of being offered part-time roles with ourselves once you've gone back to university, but you need to have worked full-time effectively before that. And that's just because of the amount of knowledge you need to learn and ultimately to set you up for success within the business. I think it'd be really challenging to come in and actually work part-time hours off the bat. And just had a question here in regards to driving licenses. Absolutely, if you aren't able to have a manual license or a driving license due to a disability, then absolutely we're able to make reasonable adjustments and welcome your application. So you wouldn't be impacted by that at all. So glad that I can clarify that. That's a good point made. And just in regards to visa sponsorship, so on the application forms, you'll be asked if you have the right to work in the UK. If you are going to be graduating shortly, then initially you would be considered on your graduate visa. With regards to data science roles, we do have various different departments within the company, and we do have various different roles focusing on data. These would be located in Egham, which is near Heathrow, and that's where our UK and EU head office is. So with regards to the question on hybrid working or in-person working, we work in person in the branches because that's the nature of our business. We need to be where our customers are. But Ruth, would you like to give an insight, into sort of work-life balance and how you manage that working, in the office each day?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the branch that I work in, we do different shifts, but most branches are open 8 till 5. So you do have, your evenings free, which is always nice. I find that if you that like within work, it doesn't always feel like work because everyone does get along so well, which is really nice. So just there is lots of friendly banter and stuff going about. Also holidays and stuff. You get plenty of holidays through enterprise. I can't remember exactly how many days it is, but I believe it's a lot better than quite a few places. And you also have like your choice days. So if you're ever having, you wake up and you're not feeling well, bad mental health day, you have your choice days that you can use. And then also within enterprise, there is a lot of like people going out and having dinners and branch nights out and stuff. So it's a really good balance, like work hard, play hard kind of thing.
Perfect, and I think that's a good sign, Ruth, that you don't know the exact holiday allowance. I think that shows that you probably quite enjoy your work, and you're not thinking, "Oh my days, I can't wait until that next day off." So I think that's a really good insight. But yeah, as you say, you've got 5 choice days a year on top of your initial 20 days holiday. We also have a My Celebration Day, so that's an additional day for people to take for any cultural holidays that aren't bank holidays, or you can use them for going to any weddings, or do you know what, you can just take it as a day off if you want. So there's no stipulation on that. So actually you get an extra day there, and your holidays increase by 5 days after 5 years too. But I think that a big part of it, and what I've always thought about, is in regards to work-life balance. It's about how much life you can have out with work, and when you've got that profit share, as you're able to impact your earnings, it opens up the holidays that you can go on. It opens up what you're able to do at the weekends, the restaurants that you're able to go to, for example. Getting a little insight into what's important to me. But yeah, I think for me that's a big part of work-life balance. It's about opening up opportunities out with the working day as well. And as I say, I've been here for 8 years, so it's been a working environment that I've definitely been able to handle, and I haven't felt it's been overwhelming. I'm sorry, just reading through a question that we've got. here, but so yeah, so in regards to pursuing careers in HR, for example, or accountancy, the entry point to all these is still the management trainee role. And the great thing about that is that you're building up that foundation of knowledge, and it means that you're able to be a more successful business partner in the future. So if you are interested in careers in HR, I still recommend applying to the management trainee role, so that you're able to come through that pathway and then progress into a more specialized field in the future. Just had a question about data science. As I say, we do have specific data departments in Egham, so I would recommend going to our website, seeing which roles are open currently, and it's really up to you if you wanted to go directly into that or you wanted to apply to the management trainee role, get some business understanding, and then look to migrate your career across to that different department. Okay, dokie. So we're coming up to time, and I think that is all the questions in the chat answered. So just wanted to finish up by saying, Abby, thank you so much. Ruth, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you joining the call. Everyone on the call, thank you for joining. I hope that it's been insightful, and I just want to wish you all the best for your application with Enterprise in the future.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.